When a movie is being promoted as having a 100% Rotten Tomatoes score before release, it's never going to be able to live up to the perception that this means it will be cinematic perfection. Scariest movie of the decade is another high bar set by the marketing of Longlegs. Previous horror movies written and directed by Oz Perkins, son of Anthony Perkins who played Norman Bates in Psycho, have flown under the radar. The Black Coat's Daughter went first to video on demand, and later had a limited 2-week run in 26 theaters. I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House was a Netflix movie. His most recent film, the underrated Gretel and Hansel, released on January 31st of 2020, and though it made $22 million against a budget of $5 million, it was quickly forgotten about with the rise of the pandemic that was soon to follow. Though he uses extensive voiceover to provide context for the characters and story, the framing and color are masterful, creating thoughtful compositions and haunting visuals. Longlegs is Perkins' biggest critical and financial success, breaking through to mainstream audiences. His previous films are understated and slowly paced. Perkins is a filmmaker who likes to leave clues more than explanations. Longlegs utilizes narration to construct some backstory as the movie enters the finale, which makes it easier to understand, though with an importance to minuscule details, it still begs for a second viewing. Micah Monroe's lead character, Lee Harker, has intuitions which border on precognition, landing her on a tough case where she is out of her realm of experience. Lee is introverted and possibly neurodivergent. She is a well-defined and intriguing lead. As Longlegs is the story of a committed young female FBI agent investigating a psychotic male serial killer, there are inevitable comparisons to be made with The Silence of the Lambs, which ushered in the 1990s, the era of the serial killer thriller. The audience is constantly reminded of the time period by a picture of President Bill Clinton in the FBI office, which is featured so prominently that it feels like another character in the movie. The story of Longlegs is fairly generic in that it is a procedural criminal investigation with religious themes of demonic possession, though Perkins admitted that he'd be put in movie jail if he simply remade Seven. What makes it exceptional is an attention to the craft of filmmaking, its cinematography, pacing, and atmosphere. The movie is an hour and 40 minutes, so it never becomes indulgent due to excess. The investigation plays out methodically as clues are revealed and deciphered. It's a story grounded in reality, which makes the ambiguity of the conclusion more shocking. Cage's antagonist goes by the name Longlegs and is a doll maker, not unlike the serial killer from Batman. Cage is perfect as this character. He goes over the top, but it's not funny. It's legitimately disturbing. There was a substantial crowd in the theater, and even though there were people giggling before the movie started, no one was laughing by the time Cage took to the screen. At one moment, he's doing karaoke as he drives down the road and begins to yell, his final scream blending into the noise of the soundtrack. Longlegs is a movie based around silence. When characters are speaking, their words hang on the empty spaces, creating a mood of dread. The knocks at the door come in harder with no music behind them. When the score comes in, it's abrasive and visceral. The music isn't making you feel on an emotional level, but in a way that is more primal, like the pounding rock and roll which defines the killer. Nicolas Cage's Longlegs isn't on screen much, but his presence is always felt. He is seen as little as possible during the early scenes in the movie. Either his face isn't in the frame, or a quick cut keeps the audience from getting a good look at him. When he's finally revealed, his face is covered with crusty makeup, and he's characterized by the glam rock music of T-Rex and Lou Reed. Though his look is reminiscent of Marilyn Manson, Perkins was inspired by Bob Dylan's Rolling Thunder review tour in 1975, in which he wore white makeup on stage. During this time, Dylan himself wrote, directed, and starred in a 4-hour movie called Ronaldo and Clara, which combined concert footage with interviews and fictional vignettes. It was poorly received and has never received a full release. Cage's serial killer is compared to Charles Manson, who coerced others to carry out evil actions, revealing himself to be a Satanist, uttering the phrase "Hail Satan" several times. It echoes Perkins' earlier work, The Black Coat's Daughter, in which a young girl is possessed by a demon and makes the same proclamation. Oddly enough, Cage delivered these same lines last year in the comedy flop Renfield, in which he played Dracula. Nicholas Hoult, who played Renfield in that movie, will be starring as Thomas Hutter, the Jonathan Harker character in Robert Eggers' remake of the Dracula adaptation Nosferatu, releasing later this year on Christmas Day. It has a great trailer, and like Longlegs, is following a formula which has been used many times before. Religious fanaticism is explored through the character of Lee's mother, played brilliantly by Alicia Witt, a child prodigy who learned to read at the age of 4. Witt's first acting role was in David Lynch's Dune, where she played Paul's mentally advanced sister, Alia. Kieran Shipka, who starred in The Blackcoat's Daughter, returns as a surviving victim, and Blair Underwood is charismatic as Lee's mentor. The review scores are more balanced now that Longlegs has been released to a larger audience. I went in with high expectations, and though it doesn't tread any new ground with its story, it's the most well-made horror movie that I've seen this year.